Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a bit of a haul, a bit of a get ready with me and a bit of trying new products because this is like all of those in one. If you've been with me a little while now, you know that every time I kind of reach a bit of a like landmark or a goal on YouTube, I like to do a bit more of a chatty video just so that I can catch up with you guys and let you know what's been going on, and also so that anyone new who has joined us can learn a little bit more about me and get to know each other a bit better. So last week I hit my 1,000 subscribers mark and I was just so happy, so excited. That was like my goal that I wanted for my first year, and we've made it with like 6 weeks to spare, or just over a month to spare. So I am just over the moon that we've got here, and I'm so grateful to all you guys for joining me. You would think that given that I reached 1,000 subscribers and I am way above the watch time that I needed to keep my monetization, that I would still be monetized, but I don't know why. I have been demonetized for now, and that has been quite frustrating because I have got videos that are kind of churning views over at the moment, and I am probably, by the time I get remonetized, which apparently is taking weeks at the moment, I will have lost probably close to £100. So that has been a bit of the negative in this week, but the positive by far is hitting that 1,000 subscribers mark. I don't want anyone to think that this is about money for me, but what's really frustrating is everything I make from YouTube, I put straight back into buying things for my channel. All my entire background I bought with my YouTube paychecks, so I really want to put everything back into my channel for you guys to make it better, to make it more watchable, to make it more enjoyable to be a part of. And so that is frustrating when that happened, because you know, it allows me to buy a few more extra products. It allows me, what I want to buy next is a microphone, because I think that will really help with the sound quality and make my voice less annoying for you to listen to. But you know, we will get there. We'll get there the hard way with just really hard work. You may or may not have noticed I've gone up from 2 to 3 videos per week. I'm now Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays, and I feel like I was really able to step that up now that I've got a lot quicker and better at editing. I was really able to keep my quality but add the extra video in there for you guys. So yeah, I'm really proud of that. I have not sort of grafted other small channels. I know lots of people, when they're small, they'll ask all the other sort of small YouTubers to support them by subscribing to their channel, and I really didn't want to go down that route. To me, it was really important that I just, you know, got the subscribers who really came to my channel organically and found me by themselves and wanted to subscribe, and not because I asked them to. Anyone who asks me to subscribe to them, I always do it, because if that's your choice, there is nothing wrong with that. You know, I think it's a very like hard graft way to get your subscribers, and I think also that I have noticed that the people who subscribe to me asking me to do a sub for sub, they don't watch my videos, and a lot of the time they'll ask me repeatedly to subscribe to them. It leads me to believe that they are subbing and then unsubbing, because otherwise they would know that they've already asked me that question if they were still subscribed to me. So I think that for me it just didn't seem like you know, an effective way to kind of grow and just to get your channel moving. But I do see where people are coming from, especially at the moment if they're trying to keep their monetization to just get over that 1,000 subscriber mark. But I just really wanted to do it, you know, the long, hard, natural way. So, you know, I guess it's each to their own, isn't it? So anyway, enough babble, let's start putting some makeup on. Oh my God, what a last like month or so we've had in like makeup, like so many releases. Oh my God, my poor bank account, like what? There has just been release after release, and it doesn't seem to even really be slowing down, does it? I think we need a breather. Like I think nothing needs to come out in March so that we can all just recuperate. I'm just starting off by outlining my brows using my Brow Wiz by Anastasia, which is not new. I have had that for a very long time, but I've only just started really using it again because I have my brows microbladed and they're only just now reaching the point where I need to do anything to them. Most of the time I don't. If I'm sort of wearing quite natural makeup, I still don't do anything to them. I'll just maybe gel them down. But because I had a couple of new brow products I wanted to show you guys, I thought I would do them today. I'm playing around with new brow products a lot because I get a lot of abuse about my eyebrows on my channel. I don't know why people are so concerned about my own eyebrows, but I get a lot of abuse. So one of the things I got was this NYX double-ended brush. It's got a spoolie on one end and then like an angled brow brush on the other. And I picked this up to use with the Benefit foolproof brow powder. It has sort of made me want to like get a bit better at doing them, because I just think it's obviously causing some kind of stress for people. So maybe, you know, I should try. I am just really like rubbish at them. I have tried. I watched like tutorial after tutorial, but I just never. Does anyone else find that if you watch brow tutorials on YouTube, they're literally, the before picture is like always the most amazing brows you've ever seen in your life, and I'm always left a bit like, well, if my brows looked like that now, I wouldn't be watching this tutorial. Like, we wouldn't be having this problem. I also picked up this Bdellium tools, is that how you say it? Bdellium 936, which is like a flat concealer brush. I picked this up specifically to carve out my eyebrows, because that is something I've just never bothered with, but I kind of figured maybe that will be, you know, make quite a big difference, and it really does. I understand why everyone else does it now, and this brush is perfect. If you're someone who doesn't, like, a bit like me, if you don't carve out your brows now because you're scared or you don't know what you're doing, it is actually pretty easy. I've primed my eyes with my MAC paint pot in soft ochre and just set that down with some powder, because next. So I picked up the Soft Glam palette along with the Amrezy highlighter on the day of that launch, and I was all over that website all day long, because this is like all my dreams come true. When I saw this palette, I mean, I just don't know what to say. I feel like Anastasia personally designed this eyeshadow palette for me with all of my favorite shades, and just, I'm obsessed. I've pretty much used every single shade in here. They are all amazing. I know she says she went back to the Modern Renaissance formula, and I totally see that, because I love that palette, I love that formula, and this is, you know, exactly the same quality, amazing. Very, like, tiny little dab into the pans is all you'll ever need. Blends like a dream. All of the shades work beautifully together. You've got a black, you've got the deepest brown you could ever need. This mulberry shade rocks my world. The best brow bone shade I've ever used in my whole life. 5 shimmers, which in my book takes it even above Modern Renaissance, which I never thought I'd say. Going first into the orange soda shade, which I was dying to try. That has been on my list of like Anastasia singles to try for a long time, because to me it very much looked like it was similar to Makeup Geek's Peach Smoothie, which is one of my ride or die favorite shadows, but it is very sort of on my skin tone. It barely shows up Peach Smoothie, so I was kind of hoping this looked like it might be along those lines, but just a little bit more pigment, a little bit deeper on my skin tone, shows up a little bit more, if you know what I mean, and it is exactly that. I really don't feel like there's a shade in here that I won't use, and I know some people were like really mad at it for having some repeats from the Modern Renaissance, but to me the shades that are repeated are kind of necessary shades in a palette like this. Like Tempera, like that is the best brow bone highlight shade of all time. It's like the first shade I hit pan on. Now I'm going in with burnt orange, by the way. And I don't, you know, obviously you need a brow bone highlight if it's going to be a full life palette. So I really don't know why that wouldn't be in there. Secondly, Cypress Umber, which is the really deep brown shade. Down here, kind of cool tone brown. Again, you need that kind of shade for like deepening the crease and things like that. So again, really not mad at having a deep brown matte in there. And then the third shade that is a repeat is this one I'm using right now, Burnt Orange, which again is like your perfect transition shade. Of course, I'm going to show you this Mulberry shade, which is like, not messing around. It is just beautiful. I think I'm going to do a video just showing you, comparing this palette to the Modern Renaissance. For anyone who's got that one and doesn't know whether it's worth getting this one as well, if they're like, you know, too similar, or if you have none of them and you don't know which one to choose or something like that, or if you're just curious as to how similar they are, thinking of doing a comparison. I know the Subculture palette, lots of people were like, you know, you need like some kind of degree in eyeshadow to make this work. But this, I feel like, is really idiot proof. Same with the Modern Renaissance, really. Because although you do need to use a really light hand, if you don't, like if you are just heavy-handed like me, and you're not particularly skilled with eyeshadow like me, it's just like so fixable and so blendable. It's really easy to work with. I'm just gonna zoom you in so that you can actually see what I've been doing. So yeah, so I've kind of made a bit of a start of a like soft sort of halo type eye, and you can just see that mulberry shade. I just love it. And I think I'm gonna go in with the shade Bronze, which is this gorgeous, very sort of yellow gold shade just here, because I think this is the only shimmer I haven't, you know, put on my lid at all. And I will say that this and Sultry, which is the sort of pinky shade next door, I mean, for God's sake, it looks like a glitter. There's really no fallout happening either, and that's what I was really surprised when I used the Sultry shade, which is the sort of other very like glitter looking shade in the palette. I thought that was gonna have so much fallout, and it really didn't have any. So I'm just gonna finish off with some tempera on the brow bone. Literally the only shade that I've hit pan on, despite having my Modern Renaissance for a year. And okay, so while we're here up close and personal, I'm going to go in with my Bad Gal Bang mascara, which obviously I've already reviewed on my channel. If you want a more in-depth view of this one, it's really interesting to me because this one seems to have been quite controversial. I love it, but I do understand that mascara is like so personal of a choice. Like some people like really natural lashes, some like crazy lashes like me, some people like spidery lashes, some people like clumpy lashes, some people want, you know, length, some want volume. It's just all totally depends on your natural lashes and on your personal preference. All around, it gives you a very big lash, and that is like one good coat, but one coat. And for like every day, I don't need to do any more, and usually I do like 3 coats. As I've got a new foundation to try that I don't really know much about, I'm going to use my MAC Prep and Prime primer, because this is generally the easiest going primer that I have. I've never really had a sort of falling out with a foundation, so if in doubt, I like to use this one because it's the least likely to clash or cause a problem with the foundation. This just literally fell through my door now, and this is the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter, which I'm gonna film separately because I really wanna try this in all the different ways that it's designed to work, and I can't really do that while showing you the other products that I wanted to show you. But yeah, this one will be coming. I'm gonna do a full review on this, using it as a foundation, under my foundation, on top of my foundation, and let you know everything about it. Today I wanted to try out the Jouer Essential High Coverage Creme Foundation because I got some free samples with my Beauty Bay order. So these are the shades. I got sent 7 of the samples with my Beauty Bay order, and the shades that they have given me are these ones. So they're kind of the middle of the range shades, I guess. It goes from Almond, which is medium with peachy tones, to Nutmeg, which is tan skin with warm golden undertones. So this is the whole shade range. It's certainly not the best I've ever seen. I feel like this row literally looks all the exact same, and most of this row looks the exact same. It's really not a foundation that I would normally be interested in because it is a sort of full coverage matte, and generally I go for more of a natural sort of finish. But as they sent it to me, what's the worst that can happen? I don't know if there's enough in this sachet to do my whole face, you know. If it's not enough, I guess we will mix one of the other shades in. So I've gone for Fawn because that is supposed to be medium with neutral to golden. I'm expecting this to maybe be a bit dark for me. It's very runny for such a high coverage foundation. So I'm gonna go in with my brush. Okay, so, the shade should be fine, I think. Wow, I mean, it's definitely high coverage, they did not lie. Oh, and it really is going a very long way, so there's more than enough in that little sachet. They do know what they're doing. It's very yellow, this shade, and this was supposed to be the like neutral to golden. I think I'm just gonna go over it with my beauty blender to see if I can make it look a little bit less heavy. It is just so heavy. I mean, it's obviously a creme foundation, it says, but oh god, it's so heavy and just cakey looking. Definitely should have used a beauty blender. That's definitely helping, but oh, just this area here looks very cakey. It's also really yellow. Given that this was like the neutral to golden undertones, I'm very glad I did not go for the golden undertones. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this on camera, but it is just the mattest of the matte foundations, like totally flat. It's a little uneven, like you can kind of see bits showing through and then a mask. But around here, oh god, oh, like where my texture is, it just looks so cakey and heavy. I think it's safe to say that that was a fail. So we're just gonna move right on, okay? Move right along. So we don't have a new concealer to show you, so I'm just gonna use my MAC Pro Longwear. And we're gonna try and pretend this foundation is not happening. Maybe it's one that is just really meant for oily skin tones. I think sometimes people with oily skin obviously need a much more matte, much more drying foundation to keep their oils at bay, and that obviously, I guess, is what this is designed for. I feel like that would be, I mean, I can't see anything getting through here. 100%, this is not for me, this foundation, it's just too heavy. If I do have a full coverage foundation, then I do want it to be more luminous than this, just to give a bit of life and a bit of a sort of natural appearance to the skin. This is like the mattest foundation I think I've ever seen in my whole life. I'm just using my Marc Patrick Starrr powder to set down my concealer. And we're just gonna move on. We're gonna move on, don't panic. What this is all about, these testing videos. Success and failure, success and failure. So guess what we'll do next is we'll just go back and finish off the bottom eye area. I'm just gonna go in with a bit of this rustic shade, which I don't think I've used yet. It's just this shade down here. It's kind of a sort of, maybe a little bit deeper than like Makeup Geek's Creme Brulee. It looks like a really good lower lash line shade to me. And it is. And you just use so little of these shadows, you just need such a small amount, the tiniest little touch in the pan. Something else which I picked up which was so disappointing to me this last few weeks was this Marc Jacobs highliner. So this is blacquer, which is obviously the black shade. Now I picked this up after like the world and his mum was raving about it for staying in your waterline, because I cannot get a liner to stay in my upper waterline, and everyone raved about this and it was very expensive, and all the reviews say it lasts in my waterline all day, and this just really does not last on me. Like I put it on and I try not to blink too much, but I mean, who cannot blink once they've done their upper waterline? If I don't blink I'll just go blind. So, but yeah, it just doesn't last any better than really any other liner that I've tried. So I was so disappointed for the price, because I really thought this was going to be amazing. I thought I would look at the end of the day and I would still have, you know, liner on my waterline, and that is just not the case for me. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, guys. Something else I picked up this month, which is definitely not new and the world and his friend already knew about, I'm late to the party, is the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil Bronzer. So I always buy luminous bronzers. That is like my thing. So I do find that I do like highlighters, and I do also really like luminous blushes, and sometimes I also like luminous foundations. So sometimes if I go in with like a luminous foundation, a luminous bronzer, a luminous blush, and then put highlight on, and it's just like, guys, it's just too much, you know, too much luminosity for one person's face. I just feel like it doesn't really give you any like light and shade, you know. You sort of want some areas to, you know, pop and to glow and to stand out, whereas if you just literally are making your whole face luminous, you don't get the sort of high points, you don't get the definition to the face that you know, really want. Putting that bronzer on is breaking up the foundation. Oh my God. Get this stuff away from me. It's literally taking the foundation off. I can't even tell you the last time. I mean, I don't even remember that ever happening. And I've tried some really cheap drugstore foundations. So yeah, so I really wanted to pick up a matte bronzer just for those days where I've got a luminous everything else. Gives me something that can be matte. So I've got a bit more of a light and shade going on, if you see what I mean. And it is just perfect. I just love the tone of it. So yeah, because the tone is so neutral, you can kind of bronze and contour at the same time. I wasn't sure whether to go to for the milk chocolate soleil because this looked quite dark online. Oh, I mean, the smell is worth it for the smell alone. It is absolutely perfect for my skin tone. I love the fact that I can really, like you just saw, I just bronzed for about 55 minutes. I'm a very heavy-handed person, and if I go in and it's really heavy and really pigmented, it can be a total disaster. So I really like that that is like so buildable. So I'm just going to quickly finish off my brows now that I've done my bronzer, and this is the brow set that I was talking about, and this is the MAC Pro Longwear Waterproof Brow Set in the shade Quiet Brunette. Now, you have to be careful with this stuff, because it shows up every brow hair. Basically, it's like a brow tint and a gel in one. And I really like it because it really fluffs your brows up and really sort of thickens them up as well. And it does really hold them in place, like through a nuclear war. You do have to be a little bit careful because if you have like not plucked or you've got like a couple of strays, it will get them. So next up, let me tell you, this highlighter, if you were like me, umming and ahhing, like, you know, I wouldn't say I was the biggest highlight fiend out there. I like a highlight, but I'm not like dying. I'm not like dying over every highlight, needing every highlight, but I do have lots of highlights. So longest time I was like, I'm not getting it, I don't need it, I've got lots of highlights, you know. It's just like every other highlighter. It really is not. If you've been umming and ahhing over it, do it. I promise you, it will be different to any highlight you have. And the main thing for me is, I have fine lines, I have texture, particularly in the places you put highlight, and this does not show it up. So flattering. I always really like, I know lots of people sort of highlight above the arch of their brow bone. I prefer to highlight closer to the center of my face because I feel like when you look forward, it catches the light better than if you are over here. But in recent sort of years, I've moved my highlight back to like more on the outer side of my brow, because as these lines have sort of deepened on my forehead, like highlighters show them up. So I've been more highlighting sort of over here to avoid highlighting my lines. But with this, I now can go back where I like it, because it's just so flattering on lines. And I feel like you can, you know, have it be really soft, but you can also build it up to be like insane. It is also like fully universal, that it leaves no cast on my skin whatsoever. And no, obviously Amra is way deeper skin toned than me. Yeah, obviously it looks incredible on her. It looks incredible on fairer skin tones. I feel like it really is universal. And it is one of the few highlights that I like on my inner corners rather than using a different one, because it just has this really icy pop when you use it there. But somehow on your skin, it just doesn't give that cast. It's not like a gold stripe. It just blends in with your skin and it's just so gorgeous the way it catches the light. It can really be as natural of a like gloss as you want, or it can be seen from outer space, but either way it still blends so nicely with everything. You need it, you need it. So I bought a lot of blushes this month, and I will tell you why. I have an excuse. So near to where I live, there is an outlet village that has a discount makeup store, and they have a lot of MAC in there. And when I went in the other week, they were doing 4 MAC blush pans for £10, £2.50 each. So of course I had to get 4, had to start a whole new palette because, you know, I had nowhere to put them. So I picked up 4 of the blushes that I've kind of had on my list for a very long time, and that is Blush Baby, which is this gorgeous, just really soft, wear it every day of your life shade. Plum Foolery, which is like a really gorgeous shimmery plum. Coppertone Matte, which I have had on my list for ages but have not picked up because I keep thinking it's very similar to Cantaloupe. Is it too similar to Sincere, which I have? And it really isn't. It's really become maybe even my all-time favourite blush ever. It's just a gorgeous, soft, neutral / peachy shade. It is just everything for every day, goes with every look, obsessed. And then last but not least, the shade Pinch Me. And I want to shout out Mandy, who is one of my subscribers from like the moment I started YouTube pretty much. She told me to pick up this blush, Pinch Me, because she knows me better than my own mum, and she knew that I would love it based on all the other blushes that she knows that I own and love. And man, Mandy, you were right. You for sure were right. It has become, these two, Coppertone and Pinch Me, immediately became like my all-time favourite blushes. They are just everything, everything. But that is not the only blushes I picked up. I also picked up the Jouer Adore Blush Duo, and that's one I'm going to use today because I think that's probably the one most people will be interested in. So as you can see, it is a duo, a more peachy sort of shade and then a more neutral shade. Now, if I use this one by itself, it doesn't really show up on me. So I mix the two together. And again, they're just right up my street. A little bit of a sort of luminous finish, maybe like a satin finish. Again, go in as heavy-handed as you want. It will never be too much, just a hint of like colour and warmth and glow to the cheeks. Really nice and soft, really natural, really goes with like every look. And as I kind of, you know, warm up my skin in the summer and get a bit more colour to my face, I will just go heavier with the peach side. So it's a bit like customizable as well. If you have deeper skin tone than me, I would not get this shade. There are two other compacts in different shades that will be much better for deeper skin tones. I don't think this one will show up that much if you're any deeper than me. Lipstick, another thing that I went a bit nuts on this month. So I picked up the shade Dough in the MAC Lip Tensity lipsticks because my Driftwood ran out and I just wanted to try a bit more of a sort of nude lip, and I love these lip tensities. If you haven't tried them, they are like a lip balm / lipstick, can't speak, can I? Can't speak today. Lipstick / lip balm in one, really moisturizing, really nice and soft and subtle on the lips. Great for every day. But what I wanted to show you today was these, which are my MAC Metallic liquid lipstick. So I picked up the shade Quartzette first. I know they are called metallics, which can be a bit off-putting or a bit scary sounding to people like myself who are wimps when it comes to makeup, but on the lips they don't look metallic. They literally look like a liquid lipstick that is glossy, is the best way I can describe it. There are more crazier shades, but the ones that I have are all the sort of more wimpy shades, the more subtle shades. So I have the shade Quartzette. I also have Crown, which is this stunning like deep plum purple burgundy wine shade, something like that. Then I have Gems and Roses, which of course is a rosy pink shade. And then potentially my favorite liquid lip of all time, which is the shade Softly Rockin. And this is a really gorgeous peachy shade, and I think I'm going to show you this one because it is my favorite. I love the wand. It's got a really pointed tip, which is great for drawing them on. I don't even need a lip liner with these because it's so easy to use the wand. I've had such a crazy week, I can't even tell you. I don't know if you guys have been around for a while, you will know. My husband works with our Winter Olympics team, who just came back from their most successful ever Winter Games. Our athletes picked up a gold and 2 bronzes, which was an incredible result. That was just so exciting, so amazing, but he got back from being away for like a week with his athletes, and I've hardly seen him since. He's been on every TV show, every news broadcast going. People in our local shop, and we literally live in the middle of nowhere, are like, I mean, they're treating him like they think Kanye just walked in or something. I mean, I actually filmed myself watching our athletes racing, and it is potentially the funnest thing you've ever seen in your life. I put up a shortened version on Twitter, but let me know down below if it's worth uploading my reactions to those races where we won all our medals on here on my YouTube channel, because it was pretty funny. So anyway, that is all the makeup I've picked up in the last month or the last few weeks. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe before you go so I can see you again. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye 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 bye.